Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Godmother podcast. I am your godmother, and I hope that you are having an amazing day thus far. Let me start off by saying, welcome. If you are new, thank you for joining us. I ask you to please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It will be greatly appreciated. For my returners, thank you. I appreciate it. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you already haven't. So today I bring you here and we're going to talk a little bit about family today. And of course, I allow my spirit to guide me to what it is that I know that I want to talk about or share on this episode. And it has guided me to talk about family. So, normally, y'all know I have my tea, but today it is the H2O that is keeping me hydrated. Make sure you are staying hydrated. The weather is very, very hot, and I want everybody to be safe. So, I am indoors cooling off as I am filming this video. So, for those of you who don't know, I am the godmother. And what does that mean? That means that I am here to nourish your mind, body, and soul with so much stress and anguish and issues and negativity, low vibration energy that goes on in society and the world. I will not add to that. I have so much more to offer. And so from me to you, I share my heart and compassion, and I choose to uplift the society, the community, this universe, this realm. And so this is one of the ways that I do it. In addition to me and my Godmother podcast, I am also an artist. I am also an author. I am an event planner and a motivational speaker. And so you can look at my bio and you can get access to the publications that I have that are available on Amazon. And please just continue to show your support by tuning in to my videos and sharing and spreading the word. So I'm gonna get on to it because today, well, actually a couple days ago, I watched a video, and the video stemmed around. The title of the video was called "How to Run a Family Office," right? So it's interesting how to run your family like a corporation. And for all of you that know me, I have shared many times that the individuals that I follow, these are my teachers, and these are the ones that actually teach me. And I, in turn around and share information and knowledge with others so that they can be able to not only be familiar with who these individuals is, but hear the message. And so one of the individuals that I follow, 19 Keys, he had this individual on there. His name is Keenan Beasley. Keenan Beasley. Okay, you can look him up. Keenan Beasley. So he's a very interesting brother on a very highly respected level. The conversation that himself and 19 Keys had, I know that it will be beneficial for all to go and watch. So if you're not familiar with who 19 Keys is, trust me, look his podcast up. You know what I mean? High level conversations. This is what this brother does, and I am so thankful that this star shares this information with us. So he had this interview with this particular individual, Keenan Beasley, and it was powerful. So it prompted me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you all the whole video or what went on. But what I do want to do is share with you what it prompted in me. And so, with the family office, running it like a corporation, it made sense to me. And I feel like many of us are in families where there's no structure. Okay. So, and I'm going to say we as my generation and up, not behind, but in front of us, that actually had structure, but it was more stemmed at making sure we tend to the household, which is interesting because I want you all to go and do the research on the origin of the word family. Okay? I use family, but I promise you, I feel the essence of the word tribe. But we have all been taught, you know, utilize, what family means. We know what family means, but then there's also an origin to what the word is stemmed from, if that makes any sense. Because you could stem something from something and give it a whole definition of its own, right? So, nevertheless, I can respect the family office because what it says to me is organization, order, and structure. With me having a degree in business administration, I understand structure and order, function, okay? All of that is important. And many of us don't have that. When we go back, and I'm going to take it back to when I was coming up, I came up in an era that we had no computers, no phones. We had one telephone in the household, and we had to ask to use it. And this came with a long cord. And many of us only had one TV in the house. You didn't have TVs in your room. People say, well, how did we survive? So because that we're still here and we survive, you should be even more fearful of us because you don't know what we are capable of. That shows us the impeccable nature of our memory. Okay? So nevertheless, when I think about that, I'm like, wow, you know, look at all the telephone numbers we had to retain and know. The structure was a trained respect to where is it that we understood what was to do and not to do in that household to make sure that mom and dad's responsibility was not too much more than what they already had to be, which was paying the bills and taking care of us. So we had to do the basic things of listening to what they say, keep the house clean, going to school, get good grades, and stay out of freaking trouble. Okay, sounds easy, and you would think that this is something they would get embedded in us. So what happened? Something went wrong. If we have all of those things that we were raised, why did so much stuff go to haywire? Or why is there not enough structure and order within the family? Well, some people actually got to the point, and I'm going to be honest and say me, where is it that I misinterpreted morals, values being instilled with just somebody being strict and don't want me to enjoy life. But remember, the brain is growing, so it takes for you to go through things to understand that you didn't know everything, right? So many of us had the blueprint in our hand. Remember, a lot of our grandparents and great grandparents, they had so much stable foundation. They built them. They had many entrepreneurs, they had many businesses. Yes, they did that. But something happened along the way because we were raised off of mom, pa, corner stores, you know what I mean? It was a lot we seen. Somewhere along the line, some generation chose to not take it on, or the generation that had it chose to not share it. My thing is this is that whatever the case is, I feel like each of us as a family and individual need to be able to have that meeting with our family to say we need to talk about the dynamics and exactly what it is that we need and what do we want to do. Because you have to start somewhere. And To land a plane, as far as my point in saying all that, this is what prompted me with this video to say that family meetings need to be had so that a family office can be formed, so there is structure within the family to be able to create and implement plans for growth, success, for current and future generations. We need to get to more planning with that. And I don't mean just with making sure we have insurance. We have to be able to have these things understood. So with the family meeting, it means being able to conversate, dialogue, talk, address, confront, whatever needs to be done. We need to be able to get these things on the table. As easily as it's been for many generations to sweep things under the rug, now let's put things on the table to be like, okay, these are our problems, these are our strengths, these are our weaknesses, you know what I'm saying? These are our assets. What would we like to do together? And for those that don't have a wish to do that, remove yourself from the video. It's not for you. But for those that do, and if you have children, you should want to even be able to create this with your own children. We need more of making sure that we build foundations that are stable enough to maintain for many, many generations. And we're not doing that like we should, especially when you compare it to the amount of money that we pump into society and consumer reports, business pockets. I purposely don't have certain devices because I refuse to pay certain prices to feed someone else's brand. But I definitely will fund one of my tribe members, family, aka, that has a better plan than one of these devices we paying for. You know this stuff? That's what we need to be talking about. And so that's what the meeting starts. And the thing is this is that the information that was given in the video, I know that we as a family can use it. So here's the thing. Will we actually watch it? Many of us will. But will we implement things? And so I'm not here to judge, but I'm here to say, oh yes, it hit me and it made sense. Now, whether you started with just 2 people in your family or you got 22 people that you're dealing with in your family, I have seen other cultures and other ethnicities that are able to do it. And I'm speaking to everyone, but I'm actually extra speaking to my people and especially my people. You start with a plan. How do you get the plan? You have a meeting. Now, if you're not at the point to where you're getting along with everybody, then before you have a family meeting, you actually need to have a intervention or you need to have a counseling session. And so this is not the video for that. But if you got to the point where it's like, man, you would like to build with your family, stay on this video because that's what I'm talking about. Building with our family, having a plan. And you do it by you start with the meeting and then everybody come to the table. We at the table now. I did a ratio of family and I used certain certain topics in regards to those ratios. One of the topics or one of the subjects was the ratio of college degrees. The other subject was the ratio of high school equivalency, that be either graduated from high school or achieved a GED. The next one is the next subject is working in a professional position, meaning that you have a profession and you're working in it. What's the ratio? And then the last one, not least, but it's like actually just employed. Now, I took those ratios based off of my family. And how did I determine those numbers? You take the total number of family members. In my case, I use one particular matriarch in the family, and I did everyone under her umbrella. Okay? So you can use that example, you can use anyone, but I did that. And then I used those four categories in order to say, okay, let me get the ratio. And so once I got the numbers off the ratio, it even more prompted me to say, man, it's time for this meeting. And matter of fact, we've been had this meeting in a couple days. Like I'm so serious. And we can do this as a family. And y'all can too. It has to start somewhere. So the thing is this is that you say, okay, well, what does that mean? Once you go and you look at the video, it's a whole breakdown of what that means. But my thing is this is that a family office represents a place where we can be able to structurally coordinate, plan, and implement plans for our family. How many of us have plans? I ain't talking about your life insurance plans. I'm gonna tell you something. That right there gonna be a whole nother video because it sounds so good on paper once it's, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't get it. I'm saying the aftermath of once the loved one has transitioned and we're going through the aftermath of either getting the paperwork or dividing all of that, it sometimes seems to be such chaos. Even celebrities have went through some of that. Now, in the case that you don't have insurance, once again, you could do the research because there are plans that you can do to put in place in order to make sure that your family don't go through. But nevertheless, I've seen it too much. What I don't see enough of is what was described in this video. And when it comes down to the family office, and if that is such a highly performed activity or strategy or method, it's not shown a lot. So either it's being gatekeep or you just don't want to talk about it. But when I seen it, I said that's exactly for us. And then after I had the conversation with my family members, oh, I just told you we finna have our meeting in a couple of days. And I love being able to have these conversations because the thing is this is that when I look out in the world and we look out in society, especially when it comes to our community, it seems that a lot of times culturally, financially, we tend to be on the lowest of the pole. And it bothers me because we're the highest when it comes to the consumer. So the thing is this that there are other cultures that implement different strategies and methods to be able to say, man, let's get let's build our family. Let's be able to prepare and plan for generational legacy and wealth. And that's what it boiled down to. My grandparents, they passed on. But these were some of the most stable people I knew. And I realized that it was a difference between showing what you do and teaching me what you do. And I felt like at some point, when you are the provider and you are in the providing mode, it becomes hard to really take the time out to say, let me teach you this. So when you go back to, I believe it could be a verse, because I'm not just totally biblical verbatim. Yet, the one that goes to the nature, you feed a fish, you give a man a fish for a day, you feed him. You teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So many of us become coddled because we were just taken care of. But were we shown how to take care of ourselves? And many of us don't want to maybe have that conversation, but we weren't. We knew that everything was going to be taken care of, but were we shown what to do? And that's not to put the blame on either side, is that now we have these conversations where it's like, yes, this would need to happen. Just like it becomes hard to even have that conversation with the loved one and say, okay, you're getting older. We need to make sure that we put your affairs in order so we understand what needs to be done. Who wants to have that conversation? Who wants to go through it? So since we do have to go through it, then we need to have a conversation. I don't want it to be so stereotypical, where is it that when it comes to our community, we're not strong and in high numbers when it comes to generational legacy wealth. I had did some Google searching, and I was so happy to find the information that I did about Black or African American thriving companies that have been around for a long time. I had recently watched the Jet and Ebony Owners magazine kind of documentary, and it was amazing, but it was kind of a shortened version, and I'm pretty sure it's a longer version somewhere out here. But the thing is, this is that we need to have these conversations, and it starts with the meeting and everybody being able to bring to the table what it is that we could be able to talk about, and then form a plan and move forward. Sometimes the matriarchs or the patriarchs pass away, and then it just tears the family apart. Nobody is together. That's why you have sometimes heirs are sitting in like a needle in a haystack, because a family member sitting there and they got so much wealth and estate and wants to pass it on, but they just don't know their family because they've been distant. We don't have to go that route. We can be able to come together just like they do in a boardroom. Do you think that when business is coming together in boardrooms that they agree on everything or they like one another? No, but they agree on this business and what needs to be done, and this is their mutual. And our mutual is our blood, and it's sacred. And guess what? Even long after we gone, it's gonna still be here. And because of that, let that be the reason why. Let's create a plan for them. We shouldn't have to be in the statistics where is it that general assistance grows or subsidized housing grows. When we gonna start pulling together and say, okay, we finna buy a building? If we getting $5,000 and $10,000 a year from back from income tax, five of us can't pull together to buy some. We need to have more numbers of that. And if it is more numbers of that, then let's talk about that. I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm saying we need more of it. And so this is me saying that's what me and mine on. And I agree. And you run it on a level where it's that this what we got to take care of business. When we come to this table, I don't get no fuck that you sat there and you mad because I told you shouldn't have worn my damn shirt. You shouldn't have went in my damn closet. But at the end of the day, we got this shit to do. We got this business to take care of. Yeah, we got to do it. No matter what. Just like your kids piss you off because they accidentally break your glass. Oh shit, they didn't broke my glass. But guess what? They got to eat. So still in all, you got to cook and fix them something to eat or buy them, whatever the case is, they got to eat. So despite that you pissed because your shit broke, you got to get this meal together. That's how it is. And so I resonated so much with this video because it's like, man, it spoke to me and I know it's going to speak to y'all. The home office. So the thing is this is that they talked about the family office is like a family operating system. That makes sense. Like I've worked in customer service for a while, and we do work off of an operating system. It's structured. We have departments. You have there's prompts, you know what I'm saying? You have modules, you know what I mean? You have procedures, all of that. But you're trained and you know how to do that. It's the same thing. We got to come together as a family so we can decide what's the plan. What do we want? Well, as I was talking to everybody in my case, pretty much everybody wants the same thing, to make sure that the generation that's coming behind us, they got something stable. When we look at what's going on in this world, you want to depend on it? I'm willing to bet you they're going to fade out government assistance and government housing. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Many people that are sitting out there living homeless, some of them don't have to be. I know it's hard to believe, but you know, it's some is a choice. if it's a choice, that make you wonder, like, well, that's the same way as going off the grid. Fuck this shit. In my case, I'm thinking more of that just because I may be at that point don't mean everybody in my family in that point. But what I am at is at the point where everybody in my family be like, we got to create something for everybody and everybody behind. How do we do that? We start those conversations. We talk about everything else. When it's time for us to have our party or our get together, even with the holidays, sometimes people just show up just so you can be able to have footage or content to post. Let's talk about it. And it's the truth. But when we talk about serious business like this, having a family meeting, coming to the family office to taking care of business, man, we got to do better. And especially for those that have bought seeds here. You have offsprings, you have an obligation. They didn't ask to come here. But if there's things that y'all have to work on prior to getting to this point and sitting at the table and say, let's get it, once again, this is not the video. You have work to do. I agree. But for those that have gotten past that, and you find yourself getting capital, if you find yourself in a position, and listen to me clearly, because it is households out here like this, where you have a higher generation, an older generation, that is pretty much still the provider, even in their elder age. But they're doing it because none of the generations up under them are actually either in the position or choosing to make the choice to say, let me do this and help. You all have some work to do because I want you to know what happens when it's their time to transition. What's the plan? Oh, you waiting on the insurance? So here's the thing. If you haven't been able to get it together all this time, you really think that that little bit of money is going to make a difference for you? It's not just the capital sometimes. Sometimes it's the mindset. And so, what, $10,000, $20,000? Not going to take you very far. And we got to talk about that. We got to think about that because I have seen personally when that has happened, whether it be non relative or relative. That's not always the, oh, that is the foolproof plan. Nope. So we got to have something more, which calls for a family meeting to create a family office so we can create a family plan. Everybody can't be waiting on Big Mom money. Everybody can't be waiting on Pawpaw money. Everybody ain't gonna get it. They have a business or a house. What are you doing to make sure that you maintain it? If you are doing what you're supposed to do to maintain it, and it is literally set up in the way to where that it is gonna flow in the family, man, that's what I'm talking about. Share this video to somebody who's not. I thank you. You're my inspiration. But for those that's not you, come on now. And I see too much of it. Nothing's guaranteed. So therefore, we got to take it back to the tribal days. You have to make sure they had the elders teaching the youth. They had the middle generation, which is the adults. They had them going out and tending to the business to provide for the tribal land itself. Then you had the youngins was able to just be children and be able to embrace the knowledge of the elder, but at the same time be able to be around loved ones. It's the circle of life, right? It just continues. And it's like It just continues to grow and grow and grow. And this is the tribe. And it just lives on and on. We don't have the essence of that. We don't even have it down in the holidays like we used to. Everybody want to look nice and take a picture and post some content. That's what we're doing. Are we really working on the problems that we have in the family? And then I'm sick of the stereotype that every time you have a get together, somebody in the family got to get into it. Okay, if we know that that's the stereotype, or we know that that's happening, why don't we actually add something and say, okay, every time we get together, we're going to have a family meeting or talk so that we can talk about having a family meeting. I didn't have these type of conversations coming up. I'm going to eventually, make more content as far as how we have to stop being gatekeeping in our own family, right? Many of us don't even know what it is. You know what I mean? I talked to my mother today, and as she was sitting up here telling me, I'm like, why you never taught us to do CPR? She said, y'all never asked. We didn't. She's a nurse. You know how much in there? You know I'm taking up. But my point is that when it's all said and done, I didn't think about this before then. I know what she needed and this and that, but I'm like, you know what I mean? So as a family, we all need to come together. You need to have your family meeting. You start there. You can actually, once you watch the video with 19 Keys and Keenan Beasley, and it's called How to Run Your Family Like a Corporation, Home Office. You could even put in the YouTube search engine Home Office, 19 Keys, it's going to come up. They talk about it. I say try it for a year and see what improvement you see in your family. I was so intrigued by it that I jumped on it. I said, you know what? And that's because I know me and my family, we're there. And in this video, I'm really pulling toward more of my tribe. If I know you and we cool, you my people. Okay? My family, my blood is my tribe. That's my tribe. And right now, I have been set with the responsibility and the duty and the job to say, you got to lead the pack on this. And I was speaking to my mother and I was like, well, what you think? She was like, I love that you own it. I love that she's able to witness us doing this while she's still here. We need more of that. One of y'all somewhere are in a family that one of y'all are the ones that be like, man, you know what? I know what me and my family can do. Or I know that we can do something. Jump on it. What you waiting on? I've been talking about this for years. I'm just thankful that my youngin got to the point that they like, oh, we ready, mama. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I know that they look at me and say, you know what? We know that you ready too. I darn sure am. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. And you gotta have that attitude. And they be looking at me and they be getting inspired. Even my mother becomes inspired when she hears how I speak on how I know. I also know this is the spirit and the energy of my ancestors and all those that came before me that either didn't get a chance to do it or didn't take on the chance to do it when they had it. Whatever the case is, we got it. And you can have that same attitude. No more sitting around playing and bullcrapping. I told y'all in my video in 2026, I am lifting as I climb and I am building as I dialogue. When it comes to my time and energy, It means something. I'm not just doing this for fun. This for real, for real. Especially when it comes down. This for real, for real. And because I'm passionate about it, that's why I keep going. And I'm not going to stop because it's part of my calling. It is my duty and my purpose for me to take this lineage to the next level. And I've taken on a responsibility. And I know that some of y'all, one of y'all, somebody, y'all got the same responsibility. And don't be afraid. Take your time. Let your spirit talk to you and guide you. Do it organically. Don't do it intrusively. You know that you and your family have gotten past the point to where it's that we're not bickering and arguing all the time, but we're in harmony. And we like, man, you see everybody striving individually. Just imagine if y'all collectively came together. Once again, there's other ethnic groups that do it like that a lot. I'm pretty sure you've seen one. If you got to look at them just to be able to get motivated and inspired, shoot, look at them. But check out that video and you'll understand why I'm so passionate. Remember how the family meeting generates a space and a time where you can come together with the family and bring them to the table. Remember the other video I talked about the table as far as who I was inviting to dinner. You and your family can create your own table and you all come around to the table with the family meeting and you all speak on what it is that you would like to see, what would you like to do, and what's the plan. I even told you about the ratio. We did the 4 different categories. Now, you base the ratio off of the number of family members. Now, you choose to want to get everybody in the family, that's on you. Or you want a particular say, well, we're going to do this particular patriarch, or we're going to do this particular matriarch. And then you either come up with your own categories or you use the categories I use. The first one was have a college degree. The second one was have a high school or equivalency, meaning they have a high school diploma or they got a GED. The third one is they are professionally working in their career field. Okay? And the fourth one is that they are just employed. And then you take those ratios and you all sit around the table and you all talk and you say, where do you think that the family needs to go from here? I'm letting you know that's what I use to prompt that. The video was the prompt. I came up with the ratios on my own and it was just loving how the family was so receptive to saying, we where you at, mama? Oh, yeah. I told you we building over here. We building over here. You know what I mean? And I say that because I want to be able to encourage everybody. I'm not worried about who already in front of me. I'm not worried about if somebody is ahead of me always. I can hear somebody say, well, you girl, somebody already on it. I didn't say they wasn't. I'm telling you that's what I am. Or they be like, she crazy. That ain't gonna never happen. You're entitled to that. If somebody out here like, thank you, you welcome. This is where we at. We done brought these children out here. We done they're here. We have raised them. We have taken care of them. Now we need to be able to show them, teach them how to be able to create the foundation on which they can stand and be stable. And y'all know it's some entitled children. It's some children that you know if you go, you don't know what's gonna happen. Who fault is that? And I'm not here to point blame. I'm saying spark, initiate a little bit of force. These conversations because they're needed. That's the problem. We're not having it. And I guess my question is why? We can sit here and talk about all of the things that just are not meaningful and not helpful. Why we don't spend our time talking about things like this? Because this is exactly the type of videos and the type of content, the type of people, businesses, environments I focus on or follow, especially when it comes to social media. Because I know what they after. And that motherfucker cold. I'm just saying. You hear me? Real talk. So because I know what the objective is, I gotta be smart. Remember, they got the smartphone. They call us dumb people. Let's not be that. And so I came on here to say the message that as families, let's get the structure and order in our families together so that we are creating plans that are being implemented that generations to come are benefiting from. Many of us are not planning on that level. Is it difficult sometimes to just see the next day? Hell yeah. I'm not going to even tell you the shit that I didn't been through today. That's not the focus of the video. If you think that you're going to live without problems, just click off the video because you sound ludicrous. Not, ludicrous to rap, but you sound crazy. As long as you're breathing and alive, you're going to face problems, okay? Because ain't nothing perfect. It's what you focus on is what's important. And I'm saying, let's focus on what we can do. We lack nothing, according to God. Use what you were given. Many of us are either not around individuals who are feeding that, or you just plain don't believe that. Whichever the case, my heart goes out to you because that has to feel heavy. But that's what I'm here for. And as long as I'm around, you're going to always get that type of talk that you wish that you was around. All you got to do is click. Here I am. That's what the Godmother does. I will show you my wine, but I ain't, not yet. I ain't gonna put you in the pumpkin and get you in the dress. Not yet. Or put you in your big suit. But I am here to show you some love and concern and share words that I know that somebody out there can use. And I'm gonna always do that. Because it comes from the heart. Now, I'm gonna get ready to get myself on up out of here, and I promise I'm so thankful that you have spent the time to come and enjoy, this conversation and listen to my dialogue. And I ask you, please, what I'm saying, pass it on to somebody. I know that there's somebody out there who gets what I get, and I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be somebody out there that watch this that's gonna say, you know what, this is what me and my family we finna do. It's not a bad idea. It makes sense. And I want us to have more conversations about this because that's what we need to do. These are the things that we need to be talking about. And they're meaningful. So I don't know where you are and how cool and how tight and how much time you be around your family, but you love on your family like I love on mine, and you want the best for your family and your lineage. Do the work. Do what you got to do. Whether that be just you and your immediate family or you and your big umbrella family. Whatever the case is, start somewhere. It can always grow, and if it decreases, whatever, don't focus on the negativity. Do what needs to be done. Do what needs to be done. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. Please, if you haven't, like, share, comment, subscribe. It will be greatly appreciated. Okay? You could even put me on notifications if you don't mind. I just want to spread the word. And remember, I'm building over here. And I want you to be a part of this community as I'm building. You got stuff to do. And I'm getting to it. You all have an amazing day. Be safe and continue to be great. It's the Godmother.